UFC 205 is here. This is the most stacked card the UFC's ever put on, from prelims right on to the main event. This is going to be one hell of a show. This is a pay-per-view that you definitely want to make sure that you're able to order because you don't want to miss this event. This is really something. It's history in the making. We've got in the main event, Eddie Alvarez is going against Conor McGregor. And this is a big fight now because Conor McGregor has fought his last two fights at 170. He's the 145-pound champ, but he's 1-1 at 170. So now he's going to 155, which I think is a healthier weight for Conor. I don't see him fighting at 145, maybe more than once or twice. That is a big cut for him. But he's going against Eddie Alvarez. Now, for those of you that don't know Eddie Alvarez, Eddie has been around for a long time. Eddie has always been at the very top of the elite in his class. No doubt an elite fighter and a winner, a proven winner. This is one of the toughest guys you're ever going to see. And he's going against Conor McGregor, this guy he's a mythic with his statue and with all of the hype that surrounds Conor. And yes, he does bring in the money. He does bring in the buys. But one thing he's always been able to do is mentally get into his opponent's head, and that has benefited him every single fight. I don't see Eddie Alvarez really getting into that game. He's not going to get sucked into that game. He is a pro. He's been doing this a long time. Eddie is very confident. And I'll tell you something. The game plan for Eddie is going to have to really pressure and get inside on Conor. Keep it a close fight. Dirty box, and get a takedown early. Eddie's going to want to get Conor down early, and he wants to get him to worry about that takedown. He wants Conor to, be thinking about that takedown all the time. And he does not want to let Conor get set up, because when Conor is able to get set, you give him room, he's able to land shots. Those shots that he can land at 155 will drop guys. He will sleep them with one shot. There's no doubt about it. But on Conor's side, what does Conor need to do to win this fight? Well, Conor's got to come out fast. And the reason for that is Eddie Alvarez has been notorious for getting hurt. He's been hurt in a lot of his fights early, but he also is notorious for coming back, overcoming. And that's something that Eddie is a master at. I don't think, though, Eddie will be able to overcome the power of Conor with that lead left, that straight lead left, if he lands it early. I think the fight, listen, it's going to be really simple. The first round will dictate this fight, in my opinion. If Conor is able to land those clean shots, this fight will not go past one round. So that's what I'm going to be looking for. But, listen, Conor's got the left kick to the body, the left kick to the liver, to the head. He's got the straight lead left. Now he's fighting an orthodox fighter. He's a southpaw. The key to that battle, guys, is to keep the outside foot on the outside of your opponent. Meaning, if I am an orthodox fighter and I fight in the right-handed stance, my left foot is my lead foot. If I'm fighting a southpaw, I want my left lead foot to be on the outside of that southpaw's foot. And what that does, one of the things it does, it lines my right shoulder up directly with his face, where I can throw a lead straight right and land it all the time. Problem. So can the southpaw. So it is a battle of positioning that is going to dictate that. Now, if Conor gets the space, if Eddie does not pressure, if he tries to stand at distance and bang, he's going to be in trouble in this fight. That's my opinion. I really think he is. But the longer that this fight goes, the better it is for Eddie Alvarez. No doubt about it. Eddie's conditioning is second to none. His heart is second to none. I mean, listen, we've seen Conor basically give up. Somebody got his neck, he just immediately tapped. He was taken down over and over with Chad Mendes until he gassed. Eddie Alvarez is an elite wrestler. Now, if he goes in there with a game plan of wrestling and taking Conor down, controlling him, weighing heavy on him, dragging this fight out, gassing him out, I think Eddie Alvarez has a very good chance of winning this fight. Now, if Conor loses this fight, that's 2 of his last 3 fights that he would have lost. Doesn't matter if it was the other 2 were at 170. That really does burst the bubble of Conor McGregor. He's going to have to do something big time to make up for it. But the one thing he can't make up for, guys, is the mental side with the other fighters. The fighters that maybe were intimidated by Conor, that maybe thought Conor was that good. Now they're seeing he is a human being and he can be beaten. So this is going to be one hell of a main event, and it's a toss-up. I have to say, and I love Conor and I love Ed, but I think that Ed gets out of the first round in this fight, that he can win it. And I really would like to see Eddie win this fight. I really would. Class act. So's Conor, but, listen, I'd like to see Eddie take this one, myself personally. The co-main on this one is really interesting. We've got the champ, Tyron Woodley, and he's going against Stephen Wonderboy Thompson. Now, Wonderboy has come onto the scene with a style similar to when you would hear Joe Rogan say the Machida era, right? Because of the karate, the in and out. In karate, it's point fighting. And they rush in and they get their points and they back right out. Really hard to hit them. It's very similar in styles. So the difference, though, with Wonderboy is he has kicks that no one else has. And we've seen it over and over. Wonderboy has really grown into his own. He's not only got the kicks, he's got some extremely good footwork, head movement as well. When you see a man fighting with his hands down at his waist and he's not getting tagged, that's indicative of, quick twitch, whatever you want to call it. He is a very elite athlete. He's extremely good at what he does. So the way I see this fight is Tyron Woodley his athleticism is off the chart. Extremely explosive athlete. His speed is huge. Now, his power, he's got to use that power, and he's got to use it to set up the takedown. Tyron is a great wrestler. He's extremely strong, athletic, like I said, explosive. He does not want to get into a stand-up war with Wonderboy. I mean, he's going to have to either close that distance and get in tight where Wonderboy is not able to get into that rhythm and throw those kicks. And that's the way that he's gonna have to win this fight. Woodley's got to be inside the kicking range of Wonderboy. If he's on the outside of that and he's susceptible to kicks, he's going to be in some deep trouble. Really awkward, extremely awkward style, and it's not something you can really train for. Now on the other side, we've got Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, and he's got to establish the distance in this fight. That's key for him. He wins fights when he's able to establish the distance, get comfortable, he gets into a rhythm, and that is a deadly thing if you're fighting Wonderboy Thompson. So, he's going to do something in what I call his turn. He's going to turn Woodley constantly. And he's going to cut and cut and cut and turn him. And the reason he's going to do that is so that Tyron cannot plant his feet and explode with a takedown or explode with punches and have a base. Every time that you're going to see Woodley set, we're going to watch Wonderboy move, and Woodley will have to reset. And that's going to be a big, big thing in this fight. The awkward style for Wonderboy is going to be the key to this fight, in my mind. He's unpredictable. He's using this crazy karate style that, you really don't see out there. And I'll tell you what, man, this is a toss-up because Tyron is so strong and he's so explosive. He is such an elite athlete. But Wonder Boy is just a different style. This is something that we haven't really seen. And I guarantee you that Tyron, he might think he's seen it. He's not seen it. This is going to test Tyron Woodley. We might have a new champ. That's what we're looking at right here, guys. It's going to be one hell of a fight. Then we get to the women at 115, right? We got Joanna, and she's going against Carolina, excuse me. And both are world class fighters. It's amazing to see these two go at it. They have history. Um, I think who gets off first and builds the momentum, that's going to be really big in this fight. And if Joanna is able to get that momentum and get into her rhythm, she can overwhelm Carolina really quick, and the fight can change fast. Joanna is extremely competitive, elite athlete, elite striker, as is Carolina. And like I said, they do have history. But again, this is going to be another fight that I believe we're going to see how it's going to go within the first 5 to 7 minutes of the fight. We're going to know how it's going to go. Really tough fight, great fight. So again, we're looking at the first few fights on the card. Eddie Alvarez, Conor McGregor for the title. Woodley, Wonderboy Thompson for the title. Joanna and Carolina for the title. Then where we go, and this is exciting to me, guys. Chris Weidman against Yoel Romero. I've got to say, Romero is a beast. He is a beast. Now, Weidman is a monster as well, and he is as well-rounded as they come. But I seen a few things in the fight with Luke Rockhold with Weidman that made me want to see him prove again who he is, why he should be the champ. And this is probably, in my opinion, the toughest fight that Weidman has ever faced against Yoel Romero. Yoel Romero is a monster. His wrestling is on point. He's extremely strong, explosive, fast, really powerful. The way this fight should go is, if you're Chris Weidman, you want to take this fight deep because Romero has got a little bit of a history of gassing out in the later rounds. He's carrying a lot of muscle. He does really explode a lot early in the fight. So we're going to see how Weidman plays this. This is a chess match. Make no mistake about it. We're going to see, two guys that are really doing a cerebral game of fighting. Now go to Romero, and he's got to pressure Weidman. He's got to really get in his face. He's got to make it a dirty fight. And I think that Yoel Romero is an athlete that could beat anyone on any given day. And this could be his chance because, let's face it, Weidman was the champ. He lost to Rockhold, and Rockhold lost to Bisping. So the title's not really cemented in. We don't have anyone dominating. So we're going to see if Romero is able to pressure, get the takedown, and use that nasty ground and pound that he has. This guy is strong. It's amazing what he can do in such a short area. He reminds me of Tito Ortiz in his prime with the ground and pound because it is really impressive. But listen, the fans' favorite, and talk about a state card, the fans' favorite, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, back at 170, fighting a stud in Kelvin Gastelum. This fight is really going to say something about Cerrone. It's going to say something about Gastelum. Now, Gastelum is bigger. He's stronger. If he can keep Cowboy going backwards and not let him get set to use his kicks, I think Gastelum is gonna run right through Cerrone. On the other hand, Cerrone has surprised me constantly. This is a man that loves to fight. He's in there to enjoy himself. When he's having fun, when he is prepared for the fight, Don can beat anybody, and that's a fact. So with Cowboy, because Calvin is bigger and stronger and everything, what Cowboy's going to want to do is he wants to make, Calvin wants to make Cowboy uncomfortable. He wants to make him go backwards and not, enjoy the fight, not have the offense, be on defense. You can't win, guys, if you're on defense. You've got to be on offense to win the fight. Cowboy has got to be Cowboy. He's got to get in there and have fun. Be relaxed, and that's when we're going to see the best of Cowboy. Can he beat Kelvin Gastelum? I'll tell you what, if he does, that's going to be one hell of an achievement because Gastelum is a beast. He is a beast. And if you don't believe in Cerrone yet, after this fight, you might. You might believe in it. He is something else. We go right to one of my favorite fighters because she's got to be one of the toughest females out there, Miesha Tate. And she's going in there and she's going to take on Raquel Pennington. Now, Raquel Pennington, she is a strong, very violent striker. She's in there to hurt you. The problem is Miesha Tate is so tough. And you've seen it with Holly Holm. I mean, she never quits. Miesha Tate never quits. So if you cannot separate her from her consciousness, Miesha Tate's going to be there until that last bell sounds. So in my mind, when I look at this, I see Miesha needs to take Raquel and she needs to push her. She needs to get her in a grueling fight, and grapple, wrestle, wear Pennington down, get the takedowns. That's what's going to really be key for her. She does not want to stand and strike with Raquel. Although Miesha is so tough, she will, but she takes too many shots. And Raquel can deliver too many hard shots. So I think with Miesha, if she comes in here with a good, really smart game plan, she'll use the stand-up to set up the takedowns and use her ground game, her wrestling, to control this fight and to take out Raquel Pennington. This is a really big fight, in women's MMA right here. Really big fight. So, again, I mean, guys, this is incredible. Look at the quality of the fights on this card. You might not like the UFC, you might love them, but I'm going to tell you, this is a great card. You've got to buy this card. So I'm going to go right to one of my favorite fighters, the most, in my opinion, under-respected. He's just disrespected. Nobody looks at him the way they should, and that's Frankie Edgar. He's got his title shot, but had he got it back when he deserved it, it might be a different outcome. We might be seeing Frankie as the champ. But as it is, Frankie goes against Little Heathen, Jeremy Stephens, who, since dropping in weight, looks like a killer. This guy, he's carried power in every division he's got. And he's extremely tough, mentally tough, and the power is not questionable. Now with Frankie is obviously, he's got the movement. And the way Frank's going to win this fight is with, like always, his movement. He's got to use a lot of feints. So with Stephens and that power and, coming down to this weight, really dedicating himself, and he's got a lot of things. So what I expect to see is Edgar is going to use his movement, lots of feints. He's not going to let Jeremy get set to throw those bombs. He's going to constantly move. He's never going to let Jeremy get set. And that's the key to the victory. Now, Stephens, if he can use his jab and that big power and come on early and push, because Frankie has been hurt early. He's always come over again. But we're talking about a guy with different power here. This isn't Gray Maynard. This is Jeremy Heathen Stephens, Little Heathen. And he has got power for this division like no one else. So in my mind, I see if Heathen can use the jab, if he can bring the big power early, if he can get Frank against the cage, but he's got to throw in 3s and 4s. Jeremy cannot throw in 1s and 2s against a guy like Frankie Edgar. He won't be there. You've got to catch him in combination punching, 3 and 4 shots at a time. That's the only way. So this is going to be one of those fights again. that you're going to know early how it's going to go. Is Frankie going to get hurt and get caught, or is he going to dominate with the footwork and the movement? That's going to be the deciding factor in this fight, in my opinion. Then again, we're going to another fight, which is just elite, and it's Nurmagomedov and Michael Johnson. Michael Johnson put on a hell of a show against Dustin Poirier. He showed his speed, showed his power. Speed is power, guys. If you don't see the shot coming, it's going to hurt you. So Johnson with Khabib, if he's healthy, he's had so many issues. So we really don't know, is he really healthy? Because he's been a guy that's not beatable, when he's healthy. So if he's healthy, he's going to have to really do some pressure on Johnson, use his strength. I think he's stronger than Johnson. Use that to his advantage. Now Johnson has got to use his movement, his speed, cutting and using angles. He's got to be first. He's got to keep his back off the cage. He's got to circle, and he's got to continue to be first. That is a big, big deal for Michael Johnson in this fight. I think this is a turning point in Johnson's career. And with Khabib, I think that people might give him another shot because, listen, the guy's health has been terrible. He's constantly dealing with injuries. He is elite, but he is not as active. And Michael Johnson, coming off that win with Poirier, he believes he could beat the world. And that's huge when you have that kind of confidence. So how many fights are we going over already? I'm trying to do them as fast as I can because there's too many to go over, guys. It's really great. So now I want to zip over to Rashad Evans, Tim Kennedy. I'm sorry. Rashad, I love you, brother. You've done so much for the sport, and this is the biggest fight of your career, my friend. Because if Rashad goes in here and Tim Kennedy, who is extremely strong and big for the division, one of the best grapplers and jiu-jitsu guys, in the division. If Rashad loses to Tim Kennedy, which is a very big possibility, we have not seen the old Rashad. I think maybe mentally he's kind of thinking about Fox 1, doing the interviews or doing the color and stuff. And if he is thinking that way, he's already lost this fight. Because when you go against someone as bad as Tim Kennedy is a serious individual. Not only is he an American hero, he is an extremely good fighter. On the ground, grappling, huge. And he's got big power too. So listen, Tim is going to be a big challenge here. And I love Rashad, but I'll be honest with you. The American flag is waving in my face. I want to see Tim Kennedy win this one. I really would like to see Rashad get behind the mic, and he's already done so much. I mean, the guy went into the Ultimate Fighter, fought at heavyweight, and won. So it says a lot about who Rashad is. Extreme athlete, incredible, Spartan. Myself, Detroit guy, go Sparties. So there you go. I'll give you that shout out. I don't know what else to say, guys. We've got Bilal, we've got Jim Miller, we've got Thiago Alves, we've got Rafael Natal, we've got Tim Bosch, we've got Liz Carmouche, we've got Caitlin Choke again. I am excited about this card. There's not one hole in this card at all, and this is going to be an exciting card. And I'm going to go through and give you some picks, okay? I don't give picks. I'm going to give you picks this time. And the reason I don't give picks is because I'm wrong a lot. This is a sport that can change like that. But I think Eddie Alvarez makes it out of the first round, and it's not too brutal of a beating. Eddie beats Conor. Big change right there. Conor loses this fight, and the landscape changes. It changes. Tyron Woodley going against Wonderboy Thompson. I think Tyron is a little too strong. I think Tyron has the ability to close the distance. His wrestling, his power. I think Tyron's going to win this fight. Now, Wonderboy could definitely take this fight. If Tyron comes out and tries to play a distance game, he's going to lose this fight. He cannot stay at distance. He's got to get inside that kicking range of Wonderboy to win this fight. Weidman, Romero, I love Weidman. He comes out with the American flag. Man, I bleed the flag, but I'm worried. I think Romero might be a little too much. We're going to find out with Pennington and Tate. Listen, Tate never quits. She never quits. So you can't pick a fight against Tate because she could win any fight on any given day. And that's who Miesha Tate is. She's a champion. Miesha Tate is a champion. And it wasn't just Strikeforce. She was a UFC champion. She knows how to win. She trains to win. And that's what she does. So that's a tough call right there. I'm kind of seeing Miesha drag it out a little bit. If she can get Raquel down, she'll submit her. Her wrestling, her ground game is a little too much for Raquel. But we'll see. Again, we'll see. And now Frankie Edgar and Stevens. Man, I love Frankie. He deserves so much. He's gotten so little. But Jeremy Stevens, listen, this guy's been out of the picture for a long time. He's dedicated his life to this sport. He's entertained for so long. Oh, I hate to say I want to see Jeremy win this fight, but I will say this. I respect the hell out of Jeremy Stevens. The change he's made in his diet, in his lifestyle, in his career is shown, and he's fighting Frankie Edgar. And this is a fight that's going to determine maybe who's going to fight for a title. So Jeremy Stevens comes back from maybe, the losses he had in the past and gets a title shot. That is huge for Jeremy Stevens. Huge. Edgar loses. It's just another kickback. I don't think many people will notice. I don't know why Frank goes under the radar. This is one of the toughest guys, one of the most talented guys, period. And he just doesn't seem to get the respect. He's the Rodney Dangerfield of MMA, of UFC, and I hate even saying that. Nurmagomedov and Johnson, listen, if Khabib is healthy, if he's fully healthy, he's got a really good chance of beating Johnson, but he's got the rust. He's not been fighting a lot. Johnson is on a roll. He's coming off that big win. He's feeling strong. He knocked Poirier out. Johnson's got the momentum. He's in his prime. He's training hard. He's been fighting. He's been active. But he is small against Khabib. I think Khabib owns him with grappling and ground game. And he is a vicious, tricky striker as well. That's going to be another tough fight. So I'll end it up on this one, guys. Rashad Evans. Rashad, my friend. Tim Kennedy, the American hero. This fight is career-ending, okay? This is a fight for Rashad that I don't care all the smiles he's putting out. Rashad knows he has to win this fight. He has to win this fight. If Rashad does not win this fight, his career is not only his career, he might get more fights, but he's not going to get these top-tier fights that he's used to, that he's deserved for all these years, even after all the injuries and everything else, coming back, losing to Little Nog the way he did, having some losses. He did not look so good. But listen, Rashad is a competitor, elite athlete. He might have his mindset. He might be right on. So we will see at UFC 205. I'm extremely excited about this guy. This is my favorite card right here. Liz Carmouche fighting, Rafael Natal, Tim Bosch, Thiago Alves, Jim Miller, Laquia and Bilal, and these guys fighting. There's not a bad fight on this card. So don't miss this card, guys. This is something special. I actually am going to have a contest for this show and the card. And the person that is able to have the best picks or even come at me with just one solid pick, right? One solid pick on a fight that's questionable, I might consider. But I guess I can't do that, so I'm going to have to go with the whole, everybody gets the opportunity. This is it. Here is the challenge for you guys. Pick the fights. The person that picks the fights and wins, has the most victories, they win. It's a surprise. It's a memorabilia. It's autographed, and it's by a professional fighter that you all know. So listen, guys, stick with me. Help me out. Support the support that we're getting on Twitter with Team Tweeters. Of course, Kate Breton, 1973. Man, my good buddy Riz. So many people. I'm going to forget their names. I can't even start to name them all. But the community itself. Thank you so much. You guys are having a huge impact on the fighters and on the sport. Don't forget that. It's not just about, having fun. You're really causing effect. You're changing lives, and it's exciting. As a fan, I love it. I love it. So do me a favor, guys. I want you to go check out Fight TV's mobile app. Download that to your phone so you can check out the fights wherever you're at. They got an incredible library. Go to your Roku channel and subscribe to Fight TV Plus. That's where you're going to see all the shows. Totally Tanya. Got another show coming. So it's going to be great. Don't forget, though, guys, Modern Pugilist Entertainment YouTube channel. Subscribe for me, please. I'm just so humbled by the support, you guys. We're really making a difference. Things are blowing up. Please help me. Join the team. Let's make a difference, man. Listen, we're fans. We came from this little area and we're blowing up. Let's blow up together. Your support is huge to me. So for Fight TV, for Modern Pugilist Entertainment, I'm Dan Cox. I will see you next time.